Thank you so much for attending my presentation about carried Pokemon, and first let's talk about Glimmet. That's right, not Glimora, Glimmet. While its stats aren't exactly horrible, having an especially nice-looking 105 special attack, that's not the main draw. Toxic Debris is an amazing ability, dropping a layer of toxic spikes whenever it's hit by a physical move. This alone gives it a ton of utility as a hazard setter, especially since it also has access to stealth rocks and regular spikes. Even though it doesn't have the stats to make it into the high tiers, it can scrape out a niche down in PU at least before the DLCs arrived. Glimmet could switch into physical moves like a resisted U-turn and vomit hazards, or act as a pretty decent hyper offense lead. And even though it's out of those metagames now, it's strong in Little Cup. You still set hazards, but now it has the highest special attack in the tier and can thus deal a lot of damage. But at the end of the day, Toxic Debris is why you would use it. Bramblegast's place on this list is kind of funny because when it was good, it was carried by both a very friendly metagame in Regulation D and a strong ability. Let's talk about the latter first. Wind Rider is somewhat simple on the surface. When you're hit by a wind move, your attack raises by 1 and you take no damage. This notably includes Tailwind, letting your partner, oftentimes Tornadus, set it up and double both your speed and make you more dangerous. This turned Bramblegast into a ball of death, dishing out a shitload of punishment, but there were other important common wind moves too. Opposing Bleak Wind Storms, super effective heat waves, speed lowering icy winds, hell even Blizzard was blocked. This gave it a surprising amount of defensive utility. Grass Ghost was also strong, chunking Fluttermane, Goldango, and Rapid Striker Shifu for tons of damage. Bramblegast would have one very strong placement at Worlds, brought to top 16 by Emilio Forbes. Its falloff was harsh though, as everything around it became more hostile. The addition of the grass type Ogerpon made it even more difficult to fit on teams. Incineroar destroys it with a double resistance. Hisuian Arcanine Sunrise didn't help at all with Intimidate and Fire typing. It was aided big time by two things, and when one was removed, Bramblegast expectedly struggled. Espathra is an extremely strong Pokemon in Gen 9. Its best sets and singles revolve around stored power, a move that gets stronger the more stat boosts you have. Espathra just so happens to have Speed Boost, an ability that raises its speed at the end of each turn. When combined with Protect, Calm Mind, and Stab, this can snowball into an unkillable death machine very quickly. But where Espathra is carried lies in the generation's unique mechanic of Terra. Espathra lacks consistent coverage against common psychic checks like Dark types and Steel types. Plus, it really hates several forms of common priority, specifically Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak, but with just the click of a button to either Terra Fairy or Terra Fighting, these problems are gone. You're obliterating your former counters and can live a very large chunk of deadly priority options. After Gen 9 ends, Espathra is almost assuredly going to get much worse. Those really bad problems that hold it back are going to be impossible to overcome. Goodbye Broken and Banned Threat, hello matchup Fishy Sweeper. Oh boy. Tagiri was actually the inspiration behind this video, mostly because of the pun. It's carried by Dondozo? Yeah, it literally is. When Tagiri is alongside Dondozo in doubles, the big fish gets a +2 Omni boost, constituting its only real niche in doubles formats. By its own merits, Tagiri kinda sucks, but it does have some sauce. Since you're rarely going to be using many moves, maximizing possible reward is the most important factor. Muddy Water and Draco Meteor are very common, dealing a lot of damage to many Pokemon and constituting its main stab moves, but everything else is way more interesting. Icy Wind is a surprisingly potent speed control option, especially if you're carrying a Choice Scarf. Taunt completely shuts down opposing supportive options and can be a big deal against Amoonguss. Dragon Cheer is a fringe idea, but heightens your partner's crit rate. But my favorite is Final Gambit, dealing damage equivalent to the user's current HP. This is tough to use as you get knocked out after the move goes off, but if you are, it can be very strong as a nuclear option. While you aren't even using these moves all that often, just possessing the option is very nice and helps Tatsugiri set itself apart. Still only good because of the big dozo though. In conclusion, some Pokemon are a bit carried by one specific trait or thing, whether that be an ability, item, move, or even a format. However, that doesn't take away their success. It's just a bit funny. Thank you so much for watching.